Welcome back, everyone. I'll tell you what, federal agents in Chicago are being told by a federal judge to dial back their response to rioters in the city of Chicago. This is outrageous. Agents have a right to protect themselves. The clashes continued today. Take a look at this. More and more, we are seeing this unfold, and now you got a federal judge saying, hey, you got to be very careful with how you respond to these absolute lunatics. This is after they put a temporary restraining order on President Trump bringing in the National Guard to Chicago. They need help in that city. This is Dickie Durbin, the Democrat senator from Illinois.
I'll work with any administration to reduce crime, but I certainly won't abide by this whole approach of mass deportation, taking innocent people out of their beds in the middle of the night, tying children's hands behind them, and taking them out to be interrogated. What is the life of that child going to be like from this point forward? Is anybody asking these basic questions?
All right, so that's Dick Durbin. Give me a break. He operates in total falsities. You know who else operates in falsities? This lunatic, the governor of Illinois. He was on with Jimmy Kimmel last night, and I want you to look at how ridiculous he looks.
And our deep dish pizza, well, has gone shallow. So it's a challenge to survive here in the city of Chicago, but there's no hellscape that I'd rather be in.
All right, so Pritzker apparently making a joke out of, 17 people shot this week already. That number's climbing. You've got hundreds murdered every year in that city, and he's making a joke about deep dish pizza. I want to bring in to discuss all of this former Illinois state senator, a Republican. He is now a candidate for governor in Illinois, hopefully aiming to take out Governor Pritzker. Senator Darren Bailey is with us. Senator, welcome to the program. All right, do we have him back or we will look? All right, so let me do this. As we try to get Senator Bailey back, I want to play for you another clip of Senator Pritzker, of Governor Pritzker. Cut 11. Roll that for me, please.
I believe that he's going to post people outside of ballot boxes and polling places, and if he needs to, in order to control those elections, he'll assume control of the ballot boxes and count the votes themselves.
All right, so that's Governor Pritzker. This guy needs to go. We've got a race against him. Think about where we could win. We just had the rally out in New Jersey for Chitterelli. We've got now in Virginia this Abigail Spanberger, who's a disaster in Virginia. You've got a candidate in Winsome Sears who could win that race in Virginia. And then you've got a race in Illinois. Now, the last time a Republican ran against Pritzker, they lost by about 12 points. I think things are most certainly changing out there. I really do. So this was a voicemail, by the way, that ICE agents left, that ICE agents released, that was left for an ICE agent. Cut 7.
Hi, I'm just calling to say, assuming you're married to and with a last name like that, I don't know how you let your husband work for ICE and you sleep at night. You, your family. I hope your kids get deported by accident. How do you sleep? You. Did you hear what happened to the Nazis after World War II? Because that's what's going to happen to your family.
All right. So this is who we are up against with all of that. Do we have our next guest handy, by the way, the government shutdown guest? Okay, so that would be an easy solution to this problem. Let's bring in our guest, because now we have a government shutdown. As Pritzker's talking about all this stuff out in Illinois, it's a total disaster out there, and it's a mess. We are offering up to extend Obamacare now for a year, and Democrats do not want to go down that road. So now this is just total stoppage. I want to bring in Heritage Foundation Senior Fellow and Healthcare Policy Expert Ed Haislmaier is with us. Ed, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Ed, why will Democrats not relent here. You got Lawler offering up, hey, we'll extend the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, for another year, and they still say no.
Yeah, well, I think, I mean, I'm an expert on healthcare, not on how the Democrat caucus works. I think basically it's something to do with their strategy, they think, I guess. But in terms of the substance of this, look, the Republicans have been saying, just pass the CR and we can negotiate this and a lot of other things. And I think they should do that. But there's no point in going ahead with this if they're not willing to actually negotiate some kind of improvements. And this is a point we've been stressing to Republicans. It's not enough to just let these subsidies expire. I mean, that's good. They should do that. But it's really an opportunity to reform what is a broken system. And I'm encouraged to the extent that Republicans are telling the Democrats, well, we're willing to negotiate on improving it. I'm discouraged to the extent that the Democrats aren't willing to actually negotiate.
Yeah. And let me ask you, because Obamacare was such a big issue. I mean, this is all the way back, like during the Tea Party years, 2011. This was all anybody could talk about was the Republican issue. We've got to repeal Obamacare. It's still here. How is it still here? What do we need to do to get back to the way that when I had my son 16 years ago, I paid virtually nothing at the hospital. I think it was like a $200 bill. Now, if I want to have a child, it would be $4,000 or $5,000 if I'm lucky because of my insurance. Obamacare raised the cost of everything. How do we actually get back to the old way of doing things, which in my opinion worked better?
Well, and that's part of what the reform that's needed. You've got to reform the incentives in the system right now for people to just wait till they need medical care and then go get it and get it paid for, because that's what drives up the premiums. That's part of it. There's a lot of things that need to be reformed, and it's part of a broader system. I mean, look, we've got hospitals that are hiding the prices. So Congress, and fortunately, they've done this on a bipartisan basis, have been supportive of price transparency legislation. We're working with members of the Hill to help make that effective so that people can use that data to shop. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in health reform. Yes, Obamacare made things worse, but it's not the only problem, and we had problems before Obamacare.
Yeah, we sure did. Well, I appreciate you coming on what has turned out to be a very fluid night. Thank you so much, Ed Haislmaier. We'll be watching this. What a mess it is in Washington. I feel sorry. You got to look at healthcare all day long because, boy, oh boy, they botched that up pretty good. Ed, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back, folks.